everyone, Robert Sane here, and we're in the garden again today. Today is going to be my last video that I'll be creating on this channel. This coming Sunday will be my last Sunday serving as interim of Holy Communion Lutheran Church between Boone and Banner Elk, North Carolina. It's been a wonderful opportunity and a privilege and pleasure to serve alongside of the folks there at Holy Communion during this year. It's been a year unlike anything we expected with the pandemic. We've had to make changes and adjustments. In a sense, that's part of what happens. It's supposed to happen on an interim, but we certainly did not anticipate it this way. But on this final video, eventually I want to connect and tie this in with the gospel reading this Sunday. The fourth Sunday of Easter is always known as Good Shepherd Sunday. And so I will be connecting that in, but I wanted to, on this last video, show a little bit about what's happening in the garden today. You can hear the wind. It's really blowing now. We're supposed to get some cold weather in the next 2 nights. Possibly down to freezing. Most of the crops that I have out in my garden now are cool weather crops, and I don't anticipate having any issue with them at all. I do have some peach trees that I'll show you in a few moments that are fairly loaded, but they're up on top of a hill in an area here where they're rarely ever, when my dad had apples here, were they ever frozen out. This is almost ready for harvest. This will be going to the Daniel's Lutheran Food Pantry next week. We may keep a little bit of it for later, maybe the following week, especially the red variety. But you can see the other things in the garden are looking fairly well. Well, I told you earlier that I was going to try to connect the dots between things here on the farm and what my intentions are now as I'm looking to be fully retired. This seems like the right kind of time for me. The timing seems right. And people of God at Holy Communion, the time is right for you too. I believe these next few months are a real opportunity for all of the members and the leaders of Holy Communion to discern from God what God's will is. And as we look at the text today, Jesus speaks of himself as a good shepherd. This is in the 10th chapter of John, but long before he gives himself up on the cross. But he talks about the Good Shepherd lays down his life for his sheep. He actually mentions that 5 different times in the gospel, 5 different occasions. He lays down his life for his sheep. Unlike the hired person who doesn't really care about his sheep, Jesus does care. He cares about the ones that are part of his flock, but he also indicates that there's others who need to be brought along too, so that they can all become part of the one flock. As I move forward, I see my transition being just as I've been a shepherd of the flock of God's people, serving a number of different congregations and communities over the last 40 years now. I feel like it's time for me to be a good shepherd here on this property where I live, and using the resources God's given to be a blessing for others. For you folks at Holy Communion, as the future unfolds, this is an opportunity for you to discover more about who you are as a congregation and a community, and as individuals, how you can be open to the Good Shepherd who leads us by the still waters, who watches over us and provides for us, and who encourages us, but also who sends us out to be shepherds of others as well. Bishop Tim Smith, along with pastors and other leaders of the High Country Coalition, are going to be working together to provide worship leadership over the next couple of months until an interim is appointed. And I believe your council leadership already has an idea about how that process is going to work, and even about who may eventually they may speak with about becoming the interim. And then, of course, at the same time, the call committee is going to be moving forward to discern again who God has in mind to be the shepherd, the Good Shepherd at Holy Communion. Again, it's been my privilege to share with you over these past 14 months, and I look forward to hearing great things from you in the future, and know that you are always in my prayers and in our prayers. God bless you now.